In this video, I'm going to introduce you to the piston drill, which is going to help you learn to use your legs and your hips and vertical ground forces to throw the disc harder. So I saw some pretty good success with the single dragon video, and I got some comments that people wanted kind of to understand better how to transition that to a run up. And that kind of took me off on a different tangent, right? Where in order to understand how to transition that to a run up, you need to understand exactly what it's doing and why it works. Okay. So in this video, we're going to talk about why that drill works so well and exactly what it's causing and how you can train just what it's causing and then use that ability to transition it into your X step and get more power from your legs in a run up on the course. The first thing we need to understand is, right, and we're gonna do this drill by starting feet shoulder a little bit outside shoulder width apart. You don't need a stagger to start off. You just need to have your hips here, your feet in line with each other. Okay. So the first thing we need to understand is we are using our body's ability to straighten our leg, right, to cause rotation in the disc golf backhand. We're kind of doing it in the forehand too, honestly, but that's another point. So in this drill, I'm going to help you kind of condense that down and feel exactly that in a standstill. And then I'm going to show you how you can use that feeling and this drill to transition it to a slow X step and then eventually transition it to your full speed X step. So let's get straight to it. So the first thing we need to talk about is the pistoning movement of my legs. Okay. And this is something that you can add to Swirly Bird. So if you're someone who is a Swirly Bird enjoyer and it helps you learn to throw farther, this is a great addition to that. So you can get more power from your legs doing that. So first thing we're gonna do is shoulder width apart, lined up, and we're gonna put our hands down between our legs, right? Where either one can basically try to touch the ground, okay? Now what I want you to feel is, when I try to touch the ground with my right hand, right, my body naturally is going to want to let this hip come down and forward, and it's going to want to let this hip come up and back, okay? And you'll feel a ton of tension, right, in the side of your ass cheek, your glute, okay? And you'll feel this hinging motion that is pulling your hamstring and your glute taut. Right, it's causing a bunch of tension in your posterior side. Okay, when you kick back in single dragon, you're doing that as well. Okay, that is tensioning your whole posterior side and shoving your rear hip up and back. Okay, now that's what the right hand does. Now when we do the left hand, you'll feel a switch. Okay, and you can even test this out very slow in front of a camera, and you can feel there's an action that happens with my knees and my hips, right? We go from right, and then as we go to left, my knees shift, right? This one is in, and this one's almost pushing out and back, right? Here. And then as I switch hands, they come together, and then this one pushes out and up, and this one pushes down and forward, okay? And you'll feel it causes me to want to roll my foot. You'll see this in very good throwers. Will Schustrick is a great example. Rolls onto his foot like a crazy person, right? That's because he's doing this very well. Okay? So the first thing to do is get the feeling of this. So you just need to go back and forth and start feeling how you can use your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes to increase the intensity, the power, the speed of this movement, okay? And you'll feel this very quick and jolty hip switch. And this foot wants to roll. This leg gets straighter. Does not have to be completely straight, right? When you're hinging in a Romanian deadlift, right, your legs are not completely locked out, right? You have tension in your hamstrings, right? So this is good here. This is a great stopping point. We don't need to be completely locked out, hyperextended in our knee, okay? So, we're here, swap, swap, swap. It's important you get your body to understand this movement pattern before you start trying to throw as hard as you can using it, okay? So I want you to do a bunch of those swap drills and really feel how this chain of exchanging the hips works and how it causes, right, some things we also see in really good backhands, like front shoulder going down, back shoulder going up, right? Boom. You see I'm reaching out is in a stride. Boom here. I'm coiled. Now, when I plant my heel and I do the same thing I just did in this drill, this is right hand down. Now, when I coil, plant my heel, now I'm going to go left hand down, okay? You'll see here, right? You'll see it's exactly what you're doing in the next step, okay? This is exactly what you see someone like Eagle McMahon do. When he reaches back, shoulders get stacked, lots of side bend, right? Just like reaching between our legs. Hip hinged, pushing the knee back, getting a ton of tension in this glute. Strides out, right? And then as soon as the heel hits, he just reverses. And this is something that has to do with the off arm as well, right? If you punch your off arm down, what are you doing? Well, you're just doing this drill, right? You're securing this whole side of your body and switching your hips, locking this one out mostly, and letting this one collapse inward, okay? So this is the piston drill. You can do it with no disc. Find the movement, find the feeling, right? And then when you have found that, please don't rush. Most of the people that I give these drills to, they immediately start chucking as hard as they can with the drill before ever really feeling what it feels like to do it correctly and allowing their body to kind of naturally pick up the movement, okay? All right, so you have felt the feeling, you have done the drill, you're ready to give it a few chucks, okay? I've got my Tech Disc camera set up here to give you guys a different angle, so I'll put those on the screen. But to start, we're not even gonna stagger. We're just gonna keep our feet right next to each other, a little bit outside shoulder width apart. And that's all we're going to do is, right, we're going to think about that hand down movement, and then we're going to reach back, and then we're just going to think about the hand down movement the other way. You do not need to use your off arm to do this movement, okay? You can, especially down the road, but to begin, it's going to really, really screw your timing if you just try jamming your off arm down. The point is the feeling in the hips, not the hand drill, okay? We're thinking about what it felt like to do the hand drill, and we want to do that with our hips without doing the hand drill, okay? What this is going to cause is this vertical pushing of the front hip back is going to cause rotation of our hips, okay? And like we all know, that's how you throw hard, right? You smash your leg down, you rotate your hips, and you pull through faster than your body spins, so you can stack the power on top of each other, disc go far, okay? So, a little bit outside shoulder width, parallel to each other, right? We're here, we're in our start position. We're gonna think about driving this back rear hip up and back as if we were reaching down. Here, I can feel the tension. It's a ton of pressure and tension in my rear glute, okay? And then when we switch, right, we're gonna feel this leg collapse inward. We're gonna feel this hip rise up and give us this straighter leg, right? Vertical ground force brace, okay? So it looks like this. I'm gonna start off really slow. I haven't warmed up at all today. So we're just gonna start off nice and slow, right? I'm only thinking about my hips. I'm not thinking about the disc path. I'm not thinking about any of this stuff. Those are other drills you need to do on other times. This is specifically a hip movement drill, okay? So if you already have a good swing path, you're gonna see this is gonna instantly give you a ton of power. If you don't have a good swing path, if you have collapse, elbow dip, all these things, this is probably just gonna collapse you more because you can't hold this power, okay? So we're here, and I'm just thinking hip up and back, reach back normal, nice and relaxed with the reach back. I'm not trying to really crank or anything. keeping my head over my center line, hip up and back, and then just swap. Okay? Throw one. You guys are probably going to have to do a lot more than one throw. You might play with your width a little bit to get it closer to your X step. We'll do a couple more standstills just to show you guys just how effective just this hip movement can be. With zero momentum going into it, just this vertical up and down, hinging into your posterior chain. Okay? This is also the reason why stepping super far out and creating this giant window does not work. Okay? How? How do I do this? I have no ability to hinge when my foot is so far from me and I'm lunging on top of it. Now all of the tension in my back leg is gone before I even start to swing, okay? So I want you to start off slow with this. Stretch, pause, swap, okay? As you get better, right? This should be very end of session, last 5 throws, right? We're gonna start making it more natural and more flowy. So it's gonna be faster. Here, no stagger. Stretch swap. The last 2, let's add a stagger. Let's go here. Let's feel how it feels to do the same movement with a stagger. Roll, extend. Pistoning. Pistoning up and down. Vertical movement. Not rotational. Not spinning my hips. Okay? Just pushing down and pushing down. That's it. Stagger me. I like just heel to toe. No farther than that. I do not think about any kind of window shenanigans or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I would say when I'm coiled, there is no window. Okay? There isn't, you cannot see through my legs because they are both coiled up, right? There's no space here really. So I personally hate the window cue, but some people like it, some people use it. So if it works for you, you can do this with that. I just find it less effective. So stagger here, just a little one, not even quite heel to toe here. And we're gonna go one paused one, up and back, vertical pressure into the ground, pushing down, hinging, switch. Now for those of you with an X step, I do believe you should do this in a standstill before you ever move it to an X step. You can even do it in a one step, okay? This is basically what single dragon is. Here, hinged, weight in my ass cheek, stride, plant, switch, okay? So we'll do one of those real quick just to show you guys, remind you. Single dragon should be the last video I put on this channel. If you have not seen it, go watch it. That is the next progression of this, okay? So instead of just keeping my feet down, I'm gonna step, back, stride, swap, okay? So that is how you can do just a one step, okay? I like single dragon a bit more for most people because it makes it a lot more natural. You have a lot less to think about because your body's just doing what it's supposed to do. It already knows how to do this, okay? So let's talk about in an X step, all right? The first thing is, you will see this in really good throwers, specifically Albert Tom, Nick Crush. Both of those guys, both 80-mile-an-hour throwers, do this a ton, okay? You will see them go into their X and rise up, hinge up, lift this rear hip, crack up, down, swap, okay? So, one way for you to do this is just think about with your hands, right? Which hand movement are we doing on each step? So, as we step with our right foot, our left hand, right? We're keeping ourselves open here, As we step with our right foot, left hand, as we step with our left foot and we stride, we're swapping to a right hand down. Okay? Here. Right? Yes, that's the tension. Make sure you don't use just your tippy toe, right? And do this, right? This puts you all in your quad and 0 in your hamstring and glute. So I want you to feel how it feels to be hinged back, knee backward, right hand down, right? When you stride. Ugh. Doesn't feel very good, okay? Right steps left hand. Left step, stride, swap hands. And then we're gonna heel plant, left hand, okay? So, what does it look like? Let's do a few slow X steps. My focus is on that hinging feeling. Getting the weight in my glute and elevating my back hip with my hamstring. Push up. Here, it coils me. It coils my whole body up. If I just think about up here, these shoulders stack. I get this side bend. I step out. I swap the side bend. I push down. Everything happens like it's supposed to, okay? This is kind of what we're chasing. Honestly, this is what I'm chasing in my X step as well. So let's try to do an eagle one. We're gonna do a lot of side bend here. Jam the hand down and switch the side bend. I got a little carried away on the X steps there. I was kind of trying to find the timing a little better and stuff. But that is the piston drill. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Please try it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want help with a drill like this or any of my other drills on YouTube, check me out on Formero. You can set up a live call as soon as tomorrow or a one-time Formero review. You can send in a video of you doing any of my drills. I will tell you if you're doing it right or wrong, and I will give you a path forward. What is the next step in the progression for you specifically? Yeah. Thanks for watching, as always. And peace.